you interviewed Diddy 10 years ago about his legacy. I want to play a quick soundbite of that. Take a look.
I feel that you're someone that's not only concerned with what's happening right now, but with your legacy as well. What is the legacy that you're looking to leave behind?
That I changed the world and I have fun doing it.
Okay, Vlad, I need to ask you when we come back after the break, if you think Diddy is headed the way of R. Kelly or Michael Jackson, or if he might actually be able to rehabilitate like Johnny Depp or Robert Downey Jr. Vlad's going to be right back with that answer after the break. I'm back live now with DJ Vlad, who is the creator and CEO of Vlad TV and basically the king of all knowledge when it comes to leaders in journalism covering the hip hop industry. And that's not hyperbole. I mean, you really are sort of the North Star when it comes to being in the know, which is why I wanted to have you on tonight. Generally speaking, where are we? I'm confused as to why there'd be this extraordinarily public dual raid and conversations that Diddy was having with authorities, as his lawyers say, and there's no indictment today. Where are we and what do you see happening?
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, when it comes to law enforcement, it's really run by the media. I have, actual security guards who are, for example, NYPD, and they tell me that every morning the lieutenant comes in, looks at the front page newspaper, sees what the media is covering, and then they'll go after those cases. The more high profile, the better. So obviously Diddy's been extremely high profile for the last few months, from the Cassie lawsuits to the 5 other lawsuits he's dealing with the Jane Doe here, with the man here, with all types of details in the Cassie lawsuit that everyone got to see. So obviously law enforcement is
Vlad, that's the same thing, right? That's the same thing that happened to R. Kelly.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
It started with lawsuits, right? And then these people who filed lawsuits against R. Kelly, the feds got involved and they actually, put them under subpoena and they got testimony and they found evidence. So the word that we're getting is that they're using the same blueprint. So and the other question I want to ask you about is people like Meek Mill, who are so close to Diddy, will there be any, and you're smiling, so what are the consequences here? What's the involvement? What's the potential for people like Meek?
Yeah, I mean, Meek Mill got dragged into that lawsuit. He was named as one of the people in the lawsuit, along with, I believe, some gay allegations. And then, you start to see all these old pictures. There's like a picture of Meek Mill and Diddy wearing matching outfits, which looks a little crazy. And Meek Mill went on a whole, Twitter tirade saying that he's into women, he doesn't like men. So, but a lawsuit can be filed by anybody and essentially say anything. And yes, with the R. Kelly case, there was a bunch of civil lawsuits, but let's not forget what really triggered it was Surviving R. Kelly. It was an extremely popular documentary that was aired. There was even a part 2 that was made. And, essentially, it didn't seem like anything new really happened from the time of his first criminal case that he ended up beating to when he actually got convicted, except for there was just way more media attention. And ultimately, when you have a lot of negative media attention, this is what happens. And this is, you first start with the civil suits, and it leads into criminal situations. Sometimes, you've seen it with R. Kelly.
And important to say, it can also unearth a lot of evidence and witnesses who testify under oath. So it's not just that the feds love the media. It can really yield some results. Another quick question about the Locks and Mace. They've complained that, about Diddy's business relationship with them. They said they've been exploited. Are people like the Locks and Mace and others who've been, say, blacklisted? I know you've tweeted about that in the past. Are they going to now pile on and open up the floodgates for whatever they've witnessed at any of the fun and party and games that they've been a part of since the 90s?
Yeah, I mean, you've always heard a lot of stories, but at the end of the day, blacklisting gets thrown around as such a haphazard matter. And a lot of times it's a person's lack of talent or their lack of hard work to actually achieve what they want in their career. And it's easy to point the finger at someone and say, oh, well, I'm not successful because I got blacklisted, because I got, some shadowy figures are making sure that I'm not successful. But you've seen time and time again in entertainment, if someone's really, truly talented, no matter what they go through, they can come back and still do well. Like, for example, Kanye West has the #1 song in the country right now after doing a bunch of outrageous behavior and losing essentially every corporate deal, only to come back and have an independent album to go #1. Right? I mean, the song is #1. He's only had about 2 other #1s in his career, and this is with huge labels behind him, Universal Records pushing him, multi-million-dollar videos, et cetera, et cetera. He's doing all this on his own, and he has a #1 record because ultimately there's a talent level behind it. So a lot of times,
which is why, I was just going to say, which is why we're so curious about what the legacy of Diddy's going to be. I'm flat out of time, but can you come back, because I just sense we're at the tip of the iceberg here, and I know there's a lot still to come, and I would love to get your reflections as things develop. DJ Vlad, thank you so much for this.
Thank you for having me.
And for the great work you do as well. Just a terrific journalist.